Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Go ahead and pull up a coffee, a glass of wine, and let's get started because we're talking about CBTi today. Should you do it? Is it right for you? Is it still the gold standard and all the good things? Now today we're going to do a little bit of a different format. We're just going to sit here and talk like friends. I'm not going to have this heavily edited video and try to talk super fast. If I mess up, I'll just re-say what I'm trying to say instead of editing out. And you let me know if you like this format. So let's go ahead and get started. So CBTi, it is the gold standard overcoming insomnia, right? That is what I heard my entire time that I had insomnia, about it being the gold standard. It's the best thing you can do out there, which only sucked because I did 3 rounds of it and it did not help me. I did not overcome insomnia, and I still struggled after 3 rounds. Now, I didn't do 3 rounds in a row. I did do 1 round. It didn't work. I gave up. And then years later, I went and did 2 rounds in a row, and it didn't work out for me. So, it didn't work for me. It does work for many, right? You do hear about people that it does work for. I'm sure I've talked to someone that it's worked for. I don't know off the top of my head, but it is the gold standard. So you know there are some people that it's working for. But if it's not working for you, I do want you to know that you're not alone. I myself, it didn't work for. I have plenty of clients that it didn't work for. So don't feel like you're hopeless or like that is the only option, because it's not. Now, when I originally finally overcame insomnia, I worked with a sleep doctor. I've worked with many sleep doctors. I mean, not a ton. I think 3 or 4 sleep doctors in my time, but the very last one was what I call my unicorn sleep doctor. He is amazing. He is unlike all the other sleep doctors out there, and I finally overcame insomnia. And he is who I learned from, and he's the one that encouraged me to teach and help people with insomnia. So that is where I am today, and that is what I'm teaching. I teach what he taught me, but also he's never gone through insomnia. So I have my own journey and my own experience. And I'm kind of going off track here, but we're talking about CBTi. When I was working with him, he used to teach CBTi, but he realized that we have learned so much since then that he no longer teaches it. The way he explains it to me is that it's outdated. I'm not an expert in it. This is just coming from him, a sleep doctor, that it's outdated. So we have learned a lot since then, and what he taught me and what I teach really makes sense. So I don't want to put down or bash other methods or say that all the rest are superior and that my way is the best way or anything like that, because that's not true. Some other methods work for people. I do know that a lot of the methods don't go after the root cause, and what I teach goes after that. So I do really like that method. Some people don't have to go after the root cause and it'll work for them, and they're lucky, and that is great. But I was not one of them, and neither are my clients. So that's what brings us here. And I just want to talk to you about CBTi and let you know that, hey, if CBTi works great for you, then that is amazing. I'm really happy for you. But I'm guessing if you're here, it's not working for you. And if you haven't tried it yet, you are more than welcome to try it. Give it a shot. See if you like it. I didn't. But I want you, if you are curious about it, give it a shot. You never know. I do know someone that I like that teaches CBTi, even though I don't recommend CBTi as a method. If you want to give it a shot, I do have someone I can recommend. So, yes, you make that choice and decide. So, for me, I did 3 rounds. Did I already mention this? This is my second take of this video. So, I did a round of CBTi like halfway through my journey. I don't know exactly when. And it didn't really help me. And it was torture, and I hated it. And then years later, I did another 2 rounds. During that time, my sleep never improved, but I did another 2 rounds consecutively and still nothing. It didn't work for me. And that really left me feeling like hopeless. Like even the gold standard of overcoming insomnia or for treating insomnia didn't work for me. So what's left? Be on sleeping pills the rest of my life? Sleeping pills didn't work for me. And I don't know if that's the same for you. But it can really make you feel, I don't know, you feel hopeless, and it's not a good feeling like there's nothing left for you to try and that you're going to be stuck with this for the rest of your life in the struggle and feeling miserable. And I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to realize that there is hope and that there are other options. Things have changed since CBTi has come out, and we have learned so much. So, there are many things. I want to push my chair back. I feel like I'm squished and it's making it hard to breathe. There are many things that I like and I don't like about CBTi. And I just want to educate you about these things so that you can make a decision if CBTi is right for you. The part I do like is the cognitive part. That's my favorite part. It teaches you a lot about sleep. It teaches you a lot about reframing your thoughts. Like if you have a lot of catastrophizing, like if I don't get sleep tonight, then I'm going to have a terrible day tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to do good at my job. Things like that. Those types of thoughts are going to add stress, they're going to add pressure, and they're not going to make you feel good. So it really helps you to reframe them. I have always struggled with sleep and nothing works, so I will always have insomnia. I have someone in my program right now that has that thought because she's done multiple programs before and she just feels like nothing's gonna work. So having those thoughts are not gonna help you overcome insomnia. They're not gonna make you feel good. They add pressure to try to make yourself sleep. It just doesn't feel good. They're not going to help you recover. So reframing these thoughts are really going to help. And I teach that a lot through my posts and my program on YouTube, everything. And they stress you out. And you get frustrated and upset. Like when you can't sleep at night in the middle of the night or when you're going to bed, you're raising your stress levels, you're raising that hyperarousal, and it's not going to make you feel good. It's not going to help you sleep. If you're stressed out, what do you think that's going to do to your sleep, right? And most of the time, all these thoughts are not true. When we catastrophize, it's usually not true, and it's really helpful to look at these thoughts and decide, like, are they true? What are the chances of that really happening, right? If nothing's worked before, look at Caitlin. She had insomnia for 30 years before she overcame it. And she tried tons of things, tons of professionals, tons of doctors, Chinese medicine, naturopaths. I mean, I worked with everyone to try to overcome insomnia. Nothing was working till the very end, obviously. There are a couple parts I don't like. And if you have done CBTi, you know what I'm talking about. One of them, the torture sleep restriction. But let's talk about stimulus control. So stimulus control is when you're trying to make it so you don't associate the bed with wakefulness. So you go to bed. If you don't fall asleep within 20 minutes, you get out of bed until you're sleepy. And then you come back to bed. If you don't fall asleep within 20 minutes, you're getting out of bed again, and you're just doing this all night. At least for me, that's how it was. It was so exhausting getting up and out, up and down, or whatever you call it, in and out of bed over and over and over again, going to the living room. Oh my God. I used to joke around that I would get more steps during the middle of the night than I would during the day, because I'd be exhausted during the day. I didn't get a lot of steps, but at nighttime, I was getting in and out of bed every 20 minutes after I'd fall asleep, or not fall asleep, 20 minutes after I'd try to sleep and I wasn't sleeping, I would get out of bed. Whew, I'm exhausted thinking about it. So, when you have this time limit, actually before I get to that, you're not associating the bed with wakefulness. When you go to bed and you can't sleep, you're not going to associate the bed with wakefulness. You're not going to go to bed and be like, oh, I'm awake, because this is where I'm awake all the time. The problem is you're fearing not going to bed. You could be on the couch, you're not trying to sleep, you're watching a TV show, reading a book. This is before you go to bed. And then you start to like doze off. You're like, oh, great. And then you go to bed, get to bed, and you're wide awake. It's not the association, it's that fear. What if I don't sleep? You have some kind of thought like, oh my God, here it goes. Am I going to sleep? Am I going to be able to fall asleep within 20 minutes? What if I don't sleep? Like, you have all these thoughts in your head, or just one thought, and it's going to trigger that hyperarousal. It can trigger that sleep anxiety. It's not that, oh, the bed's associated with wakefulness, and I go to my bed, and boom, I'm awake. So, when you are getting out of bed, when you can't sleep, you're not giving your brain a chance to learn that you are safe. So, going back to the basics. When we lose sleep, we have disrupted sleep. It could be from the very, very beginning, something caused us to have some sleep issues. And then we started to fear, like, oh my gosh, what if I have another bad night? I gotta take this pill. I gotta do this. And you start trying to do all these things to escape sleeplessness. You're fearing being awake at night. Those two things are triggering your brain to think that there is danger. You're fearing something and you're trying to escape it. Those two things are the magical combination to trigger your brain to think there is danger. Your brain doesn't realize there isn't a physical threat out there. It just knows you're fearing something and trying to escape it. So when you're getting out of bed, you're like, oh my God, I'm not sleeping. It's been 20 minutes. You're fearing it. Like, oh my God, I can't sleep. And you're trying to escape it and you're running. You're fleeing. I mean, you're not technically running away, but you're getting away to escape the danger and going to the couch again. And then you come back to the danger. And then you feel the fear. You're not sleeping. And then you get out. You're escaping. You're not giving your brain a chance to actually learn that you are safe. If you would just stay in bed, this is what I did. You stay in bed and you don't fear being awake, the more you can get into that mindset and not trying to escape it, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to show your brain that you are safe so that you can get more sleep. You have to teach your brain that you are safe. That is the key to overcoming insomnia. So when you're going to bed, and there you have 20 minutes. Okay. Just think about this. Okay. I'm in bed. I got 20 minutes to fall asleep. How does that feel? Do you feel relaxed and like you're going to be able to sleep? Or you're like, oh my God, I have 20 minutes. I got to fall asleep in 20 minutes. Okay, relax. You have to relax. Relax, Caitlin. Otherwise, you're going to have to get back up. Or your name. Insert your name in there. It adds pressure. And it's stressful to fall asleep within 20 minutes. It doesn't feel good, and it's not going to help you sleep. In my opinion, in my sleep doctor's opinion, it just doesn't feel good. You have 20 minutes to fall asleep. Okay. I don't even have to explain it. Just telling you that, you can tell by how that feels. And if that's raising your stress hormones, you're obviously not going to be able to sleep. Sorry, I get out of breath when I talk. Frustrated getting in and out of bed. That's the other thing, when you're getting in and out of bed, it's frustrating. It doesn't feel good. You're like, oh my God, I gotta get up again. You're just adding all this stress and all this frustration, and it's not creating a relaxed environment. It's not creating the right, environment. I keep wanting to say environment. You're not feeling good for bed. It's not. You're stressed. Your hyperarousal is up. You might have your sleep anxiety. It might be triggered at that point. So the problem we already talked about is not associated with the wakefulness of bed. It's running from the danger and fearing being awake. Your brain thinks there's danger. If instead you stayed in bed, maybe you did something you enjoyed, read a book, watch a TV show. Yes, I said watch a TV show. You are facing the danger. If there's danger, you're not going to be relaxed, enjoying yourself, maybe watching a show that's making you laugh. You're not trying to escape anything. So your brain's going to start to learn. It's not going to do it in 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's going to take weeks of practicing this to show your brain that you are safe. Your brain's going to realize, you know what? Maybe there isn't a danger, or the danger is gone, and we are safe. So your hyperarousal levels are going to come down at bedtime over time, and then you'll start to sleep better again. The problem is people do this 1, 2, 3 times. They're like, it didn't work. You got to keep doing it. It takes a while to teach your brain that you are safe when you've had insomnia for a long time. You've had that fear for a long time. That danger has been there for a while. Whew, it's hot and sweaty out here. That's the thing with Hawaii. When it rains, it gets really humid. It's already humid here, and then you add the rain, and it's a lot. But that's okay. My microphone is falling. I hope you heard me the whole time. I need to tighten it. So, it's better to face the fear and show the brain that you're safe. We already talked about that. Now, the last one I want to talk about is sleep restriction. Sleep torture, or lack of sleep torture. Whatever you want to call it. I call it torture. So sleep restriction, if you haven't done it before, you don't know anything about it, it's basically, I remember they would have me figure out how much sleep I'm getting every day. Like all the broken up sleep, like if I'm getting 30 minutes here, 1 hour there, and like another half an hour there, that's like 2 hours, right? So they'd have me pick the same wake up time, which is fine, and then subtract 2 hours. They want to try to consolidate those 2 hours, which sounds good. And then over time, you'll start to allow yourself more and more sleep. But in the beginning, you have to do this 2 hour window. So if I'm waking up at 8 a.m., I'd have to go to bed at 6 a.m. every single day. Stay up, force myself to stay up, no matter what, until 6 a.m. and then go to bed. It's an attempt to control sleep. We can't control sleep. Sleep is a passive process. We don't have any direct control, not even sleeping pills. Now, I can't explain the whole sleeping pills in this one video because, I already have another full video about that, and it would just be too long to explain here, but we have no direct control over sleep. We can step out of the way of our sleep system so that we can get sleep. And that's the best thing we can do, but we can't control it. And then sleep restriction is an attempt, basically it's trying to raise your sleep drive as well. That's the other purpose, the main purpose. So there's two things that we need for sleep. We need high sleep drive, which is usually never an issue in insomnia. Sleep drive is basically how sleepy you are. We have a buildup of a chemical called adenosine. The more it builds up as we're awake, the higher your sleep drive and the more you want to sleep. We're awake a lot with insomnia. We don't have a sleep drive issue. The other thing we need is low hyperarousal levels. Hyperarousal is heightened state of awareness from things like excitement, stress, frustration, fear, just anything like that. So we need high sleep drive, low sleep restriction, low sleep or hyperarousal in order to sleep. And the problem with insomnia is with the fears triggering the fight or flight and our hyperarousal levels up. So what sleep restriction is trying to do is, even though your hyperarousal is up, it's trying to raise your sleep drive even more to try to overcome the hyperarousal. Now, the problem is we're not going after the reason that the hyperarousal is in there in the first place. No. So we're still letting ourselves have the hyperarousal and it's trying to overcome the hyperarousal with the sleep drive, which is really, really difficult. And sleep restriction is so torturous. It's like torture. Everyone I talk to absolutely hates it. I haven't talked to anyone that it's helped. I talked to my clients about the other day. I was going to print out their comments and read it on here, but it destroyed their sleep. It was the worst experience of their life doing CBTi. A lot of really horrible remarks about CBTi. Now, I mean, it makes sense because my clients have probably tried it in the past and they're like, oh, there's actually something else we can try. And then they find me. Usually people have tried CBTi before me and it's not their first time. So it's the people that it didn't work for. But just wanted to share that it is not fun. If your hyperarousal level's up, this is where what I teach comes in. We're going after what's causing that hyperarousal level to be up. That hyperarousal level is blocking your sleep system. That's why you aren't sleeping. It's preventing you from sleeping because that hyperarousal level's up. Your brain is trying to keep you safe. If it thinks there's danger out there, it doesn't want you to get into a deep sleep. It doesn't want you to get a lot of sleep because you need to be able to react in case of danger. In case of something comes after you and tries to attack you, whatever the danger is. Obviously, there's no physical danger, but your brain doesn't know that. So I think it's really helpful to understand. I'd much rather go after what's causing that hyperarousal than trying to overcome that hyperarousal. You know what I mean? Because this is still there, this root cause. So stick around to this channel, and if you want to go more in depth and understand what the problem is, what the root cause is, and how to go after it and get your first steps to overcoming insomnia, then check out my free insomnia crash course. There is a link in the description box below, and I hope it really helps you. It's absolutely free. Oh my gosh, you want to see a chicken? Come here. Come here, Phoebe. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh, you're going to jump on the table, not my arm. She's behind the camera, so now you can't see it. Come here. Get here. Come here, baby. Come here. Come show yourself. Come show yourself real quick. You are wet. You're going to get my shirt wet. This is Phoebe. Okay? Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that was helpful. And I'd love to hear about your experience with CBTi. So post it below, and I will see you in the next one.